Yo, what's going on, DeFire fam? My name is Ivory, and today I'm gonna talk about FL Studio Patcher. FL Studio Patcher is a plugin that allows you to combine as many plugins as you want in one window and control all the parameters with macros and sliders. The interface is a bit confusing at first, so that's why I wanted to make this tutorial. So in this video, I'm gonna make a patcher for vocal processing, then another patcher for bass processing.
Let's go, love. I'm saying, ain't you tired of waiting? We can leave this whole place behind.
Okay, and now with the rack.
Let's go, love. I'm saying, ain't you tired of waiting? We can leave this whole place behind. Yeah. I'm saying, ain't you tired of waiting? Leave this whole place behind.
Yeah, so I did this rack because for those who use FL Studio, you know that there's only 10 slots available in the mixer channels, which is pretty weak when you want to make some, big. And also, you can't do parallel processing directly in the mix. You have to route it to another channel, which is a bit annoying, but it's Patcher. And Patcher allows you to do parallel processing to add as much plugins as you want. So I will go over this rack real quick, and then we're gonna create our own. So in this rack, I have some distortion, delay, saturation, compressor, and everything is linked and controllable by those knobs. So yeah, you know what? I'm gonna actually make a blank project real quick and just throw few FX so you can understand, how it works. And then I will go over the vocal rack again and add more stuff, more advanced stuff, or I don't know. So yeah, when you open up Patcher like that, that's how it looks so far. And there's also one thing: those two elements here are not linked together. So from FL Studio means the input signal that comes into the mixer, and to FL Studio means the output signal of the mixer. So since those are not linked, there will be no sound. So if I play the vocals with the patcher enabled, there's no vocals anymore. So when you have this window here, you want to start to add some plugins. So for vocals, let's add some, I don't know, some delay maybe. So yeah, when you load the first plugin, it automatically link to the patcher. Also, to add a plugin, you need to right-click on the background here, click on Add Plugin, and then choose your plugin. Then yeah, it's gonna link automatically. Then if you want to add another plugin, such as Reverb, it's not linked by default, so you need to link it yourself. And you can do that by clicking on the end of the line here and put it here on the input of your plugin. And then put the output of the plugin into the input of the very last point here. So now that's how it sounds.
Let's go.
So that's exactly how it will sound if you put the delay and reverb here. But what's interesting now is to do some parallel processing. So you can route from FL Studio to FL Studio, which means the input signal coming into the mixer gonna go straight to the end of the mixer. I mean, not the mixer, but the patcher, but you can see this as a kind of, mixer slots. So yeah, there's actually one signal here coming from the beginning to the end without being affected by the FX. And then you have all the FX here. When you do parallel processing, better use the dry wet to the maximum, fully wet, and no dry at all, because you don't want to combine the signal twice. You only want this chain up there to be the FX and no dry signal at all. So that's why you want to turn down the dry on those plugins, also on the reverb. to only keep the FX part and leave the dry signal here. So now that's how it sounds.
Let's go, I'm saying it's tired.
Okay, so that's technically the very basics of Patcher. There's also one thing you need to know is this knob here. It allows you to control the output of what's playing here in this line. So if I turn this down, there will be no more FX.
Let's go.
But I don't find this very practical because you can't automate this knob. So let's say you wanna, automate all the FX here by turning the volume down. You can't automate this thing. You need to add a FreeT balance, or you need to automate the wet knob of each element, which can be easy to use. Adding a FreeT balance will be way easier in this case. So here comes the tricky part of Patcher. If I were to put my reverb to FL balance here,
Let's go.
you have two choices if you want to automate the FreeT balance. You can either automate it directly in the plugin, or you can create a knob or any kind of control that's going to control this parameter. So in order to create knobs, you need to click on Surface Mode here, and then click on the plus and choose knob. There's a lot of different knobs. You can create your own if you want. I'm gonna go for this one. Right click on it, rename, and let's call it delay reverb level. Now you can click on this gear icon, and then you can start linking your knob to the parameters you want. You want to route this knob to the volume knob here. But if you do it like that, so by clicking on the output of the plugin, which is located here, you can see it on this area of my screen when I go over it, delay reverb level. If you click on it and drag it to volume here, let's see what happens.
Make your music stand out, get more views, and way more engagement. Bring your music to life. Get Music Visualizer. In every format, even for social media. Get started today. The link is in the description.
It goes over 0, and that's very annoying. So a good way to fix that is to use a plugin called XY Controller. So XY Controller is gonna help you to control the amount of automation you wanna give to a plugin. So let's open FreeT XY Controller and see how it looks. So by default, it looks like this. And there's some parameters you need to tweak at first if you wanna have a very accurate and normal automation. So those plugins you need to tweak are the speed. You need to put it to maximum, and the speed here as well. So this speed knob literally controls the speed of this point when you automate it. So if I put the speed to almost not 0, but the center, and move this. Oh, come on. Oh yeah. See, the point doesn't follow my automation. It adds a kind of delay, slow motion. I don't know how to call that. That's why you wanna put the speed all the way up, the accuracy as well, and the speed as well here. And then if you move level now, as you can see, it's perfectly synchronized with the control. So now you did this, you need to set up the minimum and maximum value of your plugin. Now if you want to perfectly control this knob, you need to know on a scale of 0 to 100 where this position is. I know it can be complex to understand at first, but you will see it's not that hard. Okay, so now you can unlink this knob here and put it on FreeT XY. A new window will open, and select X level. Oops, X level. Okay. Why X level? Because we actually selected X mode, and level is the knob that will control the parameters. And you need to create an output knob as well, output control. So go here, output controllers, and click on X. Now you can route X to Fruity Balance. So this Fruity XY controller is just, a way to be more precise when automating knobs. Okay, so now here's the fun part. I mean, it's not really fun though, but here's the complex part. As I said before, you need to know what 0 represents on a 0 to 100 scale. Why 0 to 100? Because as you can see, those parameters go from 0 to 100. So by experience, I know that FL Studio's plugin are set up at 80%. I don't know why. I still don't understand why. But for example, Fruity Balance, when you put it to 0, yeah, it's gonna be 80%, and 5.6 dB, which is the maximum of the knob, will be 100%. Obviously, infinite will be 0%. So yeah, this is 80%. So let's go into the max knob here, activate it, and type in value. Let's type 80. And now let's go on our knob, and let's try to move it and see where the knob on the Fruity Balance stop. It stops where we want it to stop. Okay, so that's, I think, some of the most important features of Patcher you need to know in order to be able to create your own racks and be able to have, perfect control on each plugins. This thing is extremely important. We're gonna rename it Balance Control, and I highly recommend you to rename everything you do, especially with those plugins, because when you have really huge patchers, at some point you don't know what do what, and it's cool, to organize yourself and yeah, just organize yourself. It's important. So now that we have our first control here,
Let's go, love. I'm saying it's tired of waiting.
we can automate it and do some cool stuff with it. But that's the easiest part. Let's now add more effects. Let's add some distortion. Let's add some OTT. Let's add some EQing. And let's add some, I don't know, delay maybe. I'm gonna try to make a, cool distorted vocal effect. Oh yeah, also one thing. If you wanna mute one side of the sound, I mean one signal on your parallel process chain, you can right click on this knob. It's gonna mute it. Okay, anyway, let's set up this differently. Ping pong mode. Distortion, let's crank this up. And now let's EQ. Okay, that's cool. Let's increase the level a bit. And now let's put the dry signal back in there and see how it sounds together.
Let's go, I'm saying it's tired of waiting. We could leave this whole place behind. Yeah. Let's go, I'm saying it's tired of waiting. We could leave this whole place behind.
Okay, that's cool. So now we just created some distorted echo for the vocals. But yeah, you can go even further, add some, as I did on the first part. So yeah, you can go further and add more effects, such as chorus, like what I've done in the in my vocal rack. And let's add some chorus, fully wet. Oh yeah, oh my bad, I forgot to turn down the dry on the delay. That's why we had some weird stuff going on.
Let's go, I'm saying it's tired of waiting. we can leave this.
Okay, that's cool. Also, what we can do here is EQ the chorus and maybe, aim for a specific area to be wide. Okay, here we go. So we have the dry signal, the chorus signal, the distorted echo signal, and the delay reverb classic signal. Let's EQ the chorus and isolate the specific area to, I don't know why, just why not?
Let's go, love. I'm saying, ain't you tired of waiting? We can leave this whole place behind. Yeah. Let's go, love.
Okay, that's not too bad. Let's add some maybe final compression or a final distortion. I don't know. Just let's add something else at the end of the chain to glue everything together. Like Maximus. For those who don't know Maximus, it's a multi-band compressor which does a lot of stuff. It's also Sungodizer, for those who don't know. Yeah, Sungodizer presets. That's literally the same thing, but with more control.
Let's go, love. I'm saying, ain't you tired?
Let's just compress the whole thing a bit more.
Let's go, love. I'm saying, ain't you tired?
Okay, and now let's see the results with and without it.
Let's go, love. I'm saying, ain't you tired of waiting? We can leave this whole place behind. Yeah.
That's not too bad. So now the next step will be to add controls on all those knobs and stuff. Let's add knobs. It's not the same knob anyway. Not a big deal. So let's, I don't know, let's call it distorted reverb. Let's copy and paste the balance control here. So if you want to copy and paste a plugin because you don't want to, recreate all the settings and stuff, you can right click on it, save preset as, you click and hold, and drag it here. You can even save a version of this, and let's actually save it for next time. Pretty balance 0 to 80. So next time I want to use XY controller, I know that I have a preset that allows me to quickly control Fruity Balance. Now we can copy and paste Fruity Balance, and instead of dragging it in the background, we're gonna drag it on the line directly, so it's gonna be connected like this. And then let's route our knobs. So distorted reverb into X level, output controller X to Fruity Balance volume. Just make sure everything is set up correctly. And then now we should have control on the distorted reverb.
Let's go, love. I'm saying, ain't you tired of waiting? We can leave this whole place behind. Yeah. Let's go, love.
So yeah, that really allows you to have a lot of control and to save some space in your mixer chain, and also to have one knob controlling many parameters at once, which is which is good for the workflow, which is good for the CPU. That's just easier. Okay, so now I'm gonna open the previous vocal rack I did, and then just make sure the other one is disabled. Yeah, let's actually delete those guys. Okay, so now, I wanted to add one more control on an EQ. So it's gonna be the same kind of stuff, but on a different plugin, so different parameters and all. So you can also understand how to, for example, control EQ notches and peaks and stuff like that. That's cool for basses, but also for vocals. So let's save this XY controller preset. But let's reset the values. Okay. So now I'm gonna create a knob again. And let's call it EQ 200 Hertz. Okay. So why I did this EQ 200 Hertz control, it's because as you can hear in the vocals, there's a lot of presence here. And when you have a full track with a lot of instruments and stuff and bass, bass-based instruments, you don't really want, you know, a lot of stuff clashing here. So I'm just gonna create a control that will allow me to turn this down a little bit, just, you know, for some mix down purpose. So let's link the knob to the 3T XY controller to X level. And now let's route these to band 3 level, which is this one, up and down. Now if I click here and turn the EQ, here we go. But there's one problem. I want this EQ to be subtractive and not additive. So I don't want this, I only want this. So that's where we need XY controller again to set up the right parameters. So it's easy for this one because, you know, 100 is when you put this on the ceiling and 0 is when you put this here. So the middle gonna be 50, right? And I don't want to go above 50. So I can put my maximum here to 50. And then if I move my knob now, yeah, it's gonna stop to 50. So now you have one knob that really, you know, helps you to control the amount of subtractive EQ, and not just a simple knob that's gonna, you know, move this up and down. And we can be more precise and maybe turn up the minimum value because I don't want to get rid of those frequencies completely. So let's put it at maybe 40%. Let's open up the EQ again and turn the knob again. Yeah, that's better, but that's maybe too much now. So let's put it to 30%. Okay, that's fine. And I will also increase the Q of this. The bandwidth, sorry, not the Q. Do something maybe softer. And now that I see there's a huge dip, I'm gonna actually turn up the minimum again. Okay, that's more like, you know, a fixing EQ now.
Let's go, I'm saying it's tired.
I can even move this a little bit.
Let's go, I'm saying it's tired of waiting. We can leave this whole place behind. Yeah. Let's go, I'm saying it's tired of waiting. We can leave.
Okay, that's cool. So let's listen to it with and without the EQ vocal rack thing. So without.
Let's go, I'm saying.
With it.
Let's go, I'm saying it's tired of waiting. We can leave this whole place behind. Yeah.
So yeah, now you know how to make your own patcher. Be creative with it. You know, especially on vocals, you can add as much signals as you want. You can make really insane parallel processing. Yeah, be creative with it because this big plugin really allows you to do whatever you want. So now I'm gonna show you the patcher instrument, which is a bit different than the classic patcher you put in the FX here, because this one allows you to insert plugins such as Serum, do some processing, then save it as an instrument, which is pretty useful, especially if you have like a signature sound or if you don't have a really fast workflow. This can help you to go way faster and have your creativity and fire really quickly. So it's pretty simple. All you have to do is to load it from your instruments, as you will do with Serum. Then once it's open, it's gonna look like the same patcher I showed you earlier. The only thing you need to do is to load a synthesizer first in order to, you know, have a signal coming in. then you can process everything the same way that I show you in the vocal process. So here I have OTT, distortion, disperser, a macro in Serum, and stereo imaging. I also have the outgain here that is pushing the outgain of OTT before a soft clipper, just to make the thing loud. So I can show you with and without the rack how it sounds. So without the rack, and now with the rack. So there's a lot of distortion at the beginning of the chain. Then OTT here, which is controlled by this knob, but I'm not gonna touch it, or just a little bit like that maybe, depending on the sound design. Then disperser, which is automated as well. I'm automating the frequency here. This can be cool if you automate this knob while making sound design and resampling stuff. Then I have another distortion plugin, which is distorting a lot. Then some EQing, frequency shifter that does nothing right now, but I may or may not try to automate it and add a knob for it. Then another OTT, which is compressing and, as I said before, pushing the outgain. Then some EQing again to remove some muddiness and some harshness. Then a chorus and MSAD to give more stereo to the sound. And then a soft clipper. So everything is really simple here, just some compression, distortion, EQ. I don't have any crazy plugins that gonna change the texture of the sound or the timbre of the sound, except the frequency shifter, but it's not used here. I can actually remove it for now. So the cool thing about the patcher rack like that is that you can save it as an instrument. And to do so, you need to click on the little arrow here once you've done the patch. Then click on Add to Plugin Database. Once you do that, you will have this window here that will appear. And then all you have to do is to click again on the little arrow, then drag and drop the Save Preset As directly into this list. So once you've done that, you will be able to find the rack into the list here, right here, for example. And if you click on it, you're gonna load the same patch. So yeah, that's pretty useful. So now you can go inside the patch and change any parameters to change the sound, or even change the patch directly. But I will recommend you to do some soft processing first, especially if you want to change the preset, because you know all the distortion and compression gonna react differently depending of the incoming signal. So yeah, that's also why I have those knobs here to control the amount of everything. So if I change my patch, I still have control on how it is distorted, how it is compressed. So yeah, that's it for the patcher tips and